So I've measured two of the 800 series Kenmore Elites, but I've never measured one of the 700 series ones. There are a few differences that I can think of off the top of my head. The tool set's a little bit different. It's like I know we still have the powered pet tool, but since the 800 has the crossover nozzle, it doesn't have an onboard hard floor tool like this one does. And I think, if I remember right, they had kind of a long, skinny dusting brush on there, but I can't remember what the other tool in here was. It might have been a crevice tool, but I can't really remember. And, you know, of course, it not having the crossover nozzle, this one has vents in here, which I'm kind of disappointed in the vents. I thought they might be like spring-loaded or have rubber flaps that would open, you know, when the suction was too much, but taking one of these apart, you can see that there's just open holes. So while I have this open, this is the power head for that Kenmore Ultra Plush, the 700 series. This is their vents. Like, it's like, I guess I've never actually had one of these open, but, you know, when I saw these covers up top here, I thought maybe there was some sort of, like, rubber seal or spring-loaded thing, you know, that would kind of release when there was pressure built up around it. But that's not the case. We just have open holes. So, you know, there's an open hole on this side, an open hole on that side, and I suppose, you know, the idea is it keeps air moving towards, you know, the center from the sides. So it should kind of help sweep things into the center in addition to that chevron brush pattern. So yeah, not impressed with that. And of course, you know, yeah, that little lock on the front here is broken, but a new neck's like, last time I checked it was like 30-something bucks, and it's like, I'm not investing the money in this. It's like I'm not huge on Kenmores, and the lady I got this from was an older lady. She was disabled and could no longer use this, according to her, so it's like it was up for sale for a decent price, and it's like, here's my chance to check it out, and it was, like a lot of Kenmores, very, very dirty. Because, I mean, it was just paper bags, and the whole bag chamber was just completely covered in dirt, and there was a lot of loose cat litter. She had just a beautiful long-haired cat. So, of course, now I got some HEPA bags in here, and I've got a new filter in the back of it. You know, it's all been cleaned out, and I remembered how much I hate working on these, like, Cinderson motors. It's like that front fan case just doesn't want to go back on. So it's like, it's always a bit of a struggle to do that. So the 800 series has the inducer motors in them, which has these kind of slanted blades at the front of the, or I should say towards the center of the fan, and they're supposed to kind of make the, how do I put this? It makes the air transition from like coming directly in to go into the fans. It's supposed to make that a little bit smoother. And the 700 series doesn't have that. The motor is, from what I remember, the motors are very similar. It's just these ones don't have that black set of blades in the center with the slope to them. So let's see what this is capable of, and we'll see how big of a difference there is between the inducer motor and the non-inducer motor. And we're just going to measure full power, because this does have just a slider switch, so it's not like it has set levels. So we'll start it off with just the main canister. Turn the nozzle on. Now, because of the unusual shape of the inlet here, I think we're just going to give this a little bit of a plastic wrap to ensure that we're not losing airflow. Alright, so now we're at the end of the wand, and again we have the ugly plastic setup here, but what do you do? So we're here with the nozzle off. It's a big nozzle, so I didn't use the front piece. You can hear those vents really bleeding. Now, out of curiosity, I did try covering those, so let me just... Okay, with the vents covered, we get about 20. Which... I'm actually quite surprised by. I didn't think the vents would make that big of a difference, because I figured even if the air wasn't escaping the vents, since the opening is actually in this interior brush hole cavity, I figured, you know, it would just leak out somewhere else, like between the halves of the nozzle. So that was a surprise. And simply out of curiosity, why don't we reblock these, and we'll try an airflow test with them blocked. I don't think it'll make too big of a difference, but we're going to try it out anyways, in terms of airflow. Oop, we're backwards. So just for fun, I'm going to go over this with the vents open as it's supposed to run, and then I think I'm going to put that piece of plastic over the vents just to see if we do get an increase in agitation. Now, I don't suggest doing this because, you know, it's made to work with those vents open, and perhaps closing them off would cause strain on the belt, the brush roll motor, something like that. So, it's just for fun. A quick retest on low just to see if it would mesh with the carpet a little bit better. Their height adjustments are a little bit weird because I would not consider this to be a low pile carpet. I would think of it more as a medium. But yeah, it's like, you know, we finally seen how the 700 series goes, and I've had two sets of measurements for the 800 series, and oddly they were different despite having the inducer motor in both of them. I still have no explanation for that, and I thought maybe that my first one had a broken suction relief valve, and maybe they differ in that aspect, but this doesn't appear to have a suction relief valve in it. So, possible third change, but I guess I'm not entirely sure either.